So we're going to finish up here in Sweden and talk about how FME is being used to help decommission nuclear power plants. So the scenario here is quite interesting and fun. We have a nuclear power plant that the Swedes built right across the pond. It would be kind of like if North Vancouver would build a nuclear power plant, and we'd be sitting over here in the convention center, and every morning we could look and see steam coming out of there, and we were in Copenhagen. So it's just across from Copenhagen, and they maybe did this in the 60s just to give it back to the Danes a bit for all that pillaging and so on that went on in the Middle Times. I don't know. But in the modern times, they decided they'd throw a goodwill gesture to the Danes and take this thing down. This place never had any incident. It was safe as can be. And so for the last 7 years, it hasn't been used. It's been shut down. But it's semi-staffed because you can't just sort of walk away from it. And now what they want to do is ultimately dismantle this thing. And so what will be left is basically just basically a park or something like that. So what we're going to do is take this thing apart. Now the problem is that the stuff in there that's contaminated, you need to load up on barges and take far into the north into somebody's backyard and bury it 1,000 feet under the ground. And the stuff that isn't contaminated we can recycle into IKEA furniture and Volvos. And so the thing is, it's way cheaper to do the recycling than it is to bury the stuff. And so you want to make sure when you're taking this place apart that you've divided it up appropriately. Now, because this thing is so old, there were no 3D fancy pants models of the place. What we had was a variety of inputs, but in particular what we had was basically some primitive CAD drawings of every floor in 2D. Curiously enough, every door in a nuclear power plant gets a lot of attention paid to it. And so every door has a brass plaque hammered into it with an ID number, and we have, you guessed it, an Excel spreadsheet of the XYZ location of each door. So we kind of know where the doors are then. That gives us something. And the last thing we have, which is quite fascinating, is another Excel spreadsheet where they did raster mapping. And so what this means, it's kind of like the old battleship game. Under the C5, we'll put the number 8 in there, and that means that it's asphalt, and C12, we'll put the number 15 in there, and that means it's a pond, and so on. So you have a raster map in Excel. And so we've got these 3 ingredients, and we wave our magic wand, and we use a little bit of FME, and we say olive peanut butter sandwich, and we get this. And so the customer was very, very excited to finally see this, because in fact they'd never seen a 3D model of the plant before. Now this is actually being rendered inside of FME's viewer, but of course they can go out to 3D PDF for them to look at, as well as 3D DWG. And so this was a couple of weeks of work assembling that data into the 3D model. To look at it in this way. Now why? What's the point of this? Well, because I said we've got to figure out what parts we're going to recycle and what we aren't. We can then go in this 3D model, and every place where we've taken a sample, we can go and put a little cube there and then light it up, color it by how hot that was or not. And it turns out our human brains are very good at being able to see patterns. Whereas if we just see that in an Excel spreadsheet, as wonderful as Excel is, it's a bit harder to notice. And so you can decide where should we do more testing and where shouldn't we, what areas can we carve off and categorize in one way or another. This particular spot here that's red, I think might be an area of concern. And so you'd want to do more investigation around this. Now, a couple of side notes to this thing. Taking samples is very expensive. That's also why they're doing this, because you don't want to just carpet bomb the whole place with samples if you don't need to. Why is it expensive? One of the interesting things is that there's actually more radiation around this place from Chernobyl and Chinese nuclear tests than there is from the work that went on here. And so, to some degree, we could make this all into York chairs and we'd be fine. Because really, if you're getting wood from Northern Europe, you probably have some Chernobyl stuff in there. But of course, they do want to be very careful in case there were any areas where there was actually any contamination at all. In reality, it appears as though the place is really as clean as can be. And it's so clean that I was actually able to visit this place myself. I know every woman's dream is to go and tour a nuclear power plant, and so I was able to take my wife along with me, and she was really excited. We got to put the hazmat suits on at the beginning and wear our own personal little radiation meters as we wandered around in there, and all these doors were kind of like going into a prison. Wham, the doors slam shut behind you as you make your way in, and we wandered around there. It was really a fascinating experience. to see. This place here is the only nuclear power plant that actually had a natural light in the control room. There's a window in there. All modern ones don't have a window. But here you can sit in the control room and see the nice countryside of Sweden. So that was kind of fun. At the end of the tour hosts, these guys are quite funny. They look at your radiation meter and go, they give this sort of feigned thing and say, yeah, no, it's fine. And so that is sort of a little bit of humor inside the nuclear power plant. And I told my wife, though, that at the end, the exciting part would be the gift shop, where they have plutonium earrings and things like that. But it didn't help. So anyway, that's our trip through Sweden. So this place here will probably be torn down all gone in about 15 years. It is a massive engineering project to take this place apart and then ultimately end up literally with sod and grass where it's going to be. And there's a few of the gentlemen there that started their career as young engineers on the first day, and they will be there to put the last piece of sod in on the last day. And they are very excited to see the 3D models. They've worked in this place for what it would be, like 30 years-ish, and never having seen the place in a computer and now to be using modern technology, they're very, very grateful and excited to see that. The other thing is this technology is likely to be used in other places. There's a lot of older nukes that are going to be retired. In fact, Fukushima was on that path. Sadly, didn't quite get done in time before the disaster, but this is going to be happening around the world, and we'll look to see FME being used there more. So anyway, they'll be also looking for ways to continue to use vintage data. There's other aspects to this story. They've invented a technique they call smart papers, which use FME to print QR codes and kind of maps. They go around with a pen and mark things in, and then they put this back into a scanner and use FME to read that and place assets back in the model. And so it's a very ingenious technique that some of our Swedish friends have. We'll just finish up now before our break with a little bonus from Norway. And I saw on the Twitter stream that some of our friends that can't see unfortunately, I guess the live stream is not working. So we've got all these people out there live blogging about nothing, I guess. And it'd be interesting to tune in to see what they can chatter about. But anyway, so that's why it's good you came here. You're the only ones actually seeing this. But they were saying that they got the Google Hangout was busy talking about FME and Minecraft, so we can do the same thing. This is a bonus thing. It just came in last week. We're going to find out more about this, and it'll be in part of FME. If you don't know Minecraft, that means you don't have somebody between the age of 10 and 15 in your life. If you do, you know this. In fact, I was told by Bola that the beta testers of this were his 12 and 13-year-old sons who tried this out. But ironically, what's gone on here is FME has been used to prepare data for import into Minecraft, and the result is the first ever combined land and sea terrain model of all of Norway being seen inside of Minecraft. The issue with Minecraft is you do have a concept of water, and you have a concept of the seabed underneath, and of course the land above. And in the game, which is an incredible visualization environment of cubes, if you don't know it, it's modeled the whole world in meter cubes. And then the cubes can have some properties, but the water cubes you can go down into and look at the subsea surface. You can come out on top of the land. And so Bola has done this. We will write this up. A year from now, you'll hear more about this. If you are a Minecraft person, that URL actually gets you the map. And one of my beta testers at home was showing me it as well. It is a pretty substantial data set, which gave his computer a bit of a run. But anyway, here's some scenes. We'll flip through a few scenes of this. And I won't try to pronounce these. But anyway, these are different scenes of Norway as prepared by FME and then visualized in Minecraft. So there we go. Here we are at night. Looks like we've got a little bit of a cubic moon thing going. Or else that's a board ship that's coming in. But anyway, so there we are. Again, some other fjords. Here we are looking at it from the top down. A little bit scary here at night when the spiders come out in Norway. Here's the sunrise. Looks like a frozen part of the country. Here we see it zoomed way out, so you get a sense of the detail and the expanse of the model. So this is a lot of stuff. We're zooming down in. Here's one of the members of the Norwegian Mapping Authority out doing a field study. And here's some of the highlands. Again, the trees are being modeled somehow in this thing. Here we look at, again, some of the fjords, pretty steep things. And that's the end. So a quick little look, a very innovative use, taking FME to grind data and put it into a kid's gaming thing, which turns out to be a spectacular 3D visualization environment, if you don't mind things being a little bit cubey. So.